You stand on ground that no longer feels like earth. Before you is the spire. It is a blade of impossible black material. It stabs the clouds and vanishes into the thin air above. No seams are visible on its surface. No windows mark its ascent. It simply is. A silent, final question aimed at the heavens. Your own world holds its breath. Every screen on every continent is tuned to this moment. They watch a single feed from the drone hovering over your shoulder. No pressure, right? Humanity's best and brightest sent you here. They called you the speaker, the one who would plead our case. They gave you a mission: enter the spire. Face the trials within. Emerge with humanity's future secured, a simple enough task. Except no one knows what the trials are, or who the judges will be. For generations, the spire has stood silent. It has watched civilizations rise and fall across the galaxy. Now, it has called on you. It has called on humanity. Your heart beats a steady rhythm in your ears. It is the only sound in the sterile landscape. The ground is a perfect gray plain. It stretches to a horizon that seems too clean, too perfect. You take a breath of filtered air. It tastes of nothing. This place is waiting. The future of the human race depends on your actions. It rests entirely on your shoulders. You clench your fists and take the first step forward. The spire looms larger with every pace. It does not reflect the light. It consumes it, a void standing defiant against the sun. You feel a strange hum under your feet. It is a deep thrum of immense power held in check. You reach the base of the tower. A section of the wall, a perfect dark square, recedes. It slides inward without a sound. It reveals an opening into absolute darkness. This is the first threshold. Your invitation has been accepted. You pause, but only for a moment. Then you step across the line, from the known world into the great unknown. The light from outside vanishes instantly. The doorway seals behind you with a soft finality. You are in a cavernous chamber. It is so vast your mind struggles to grasp its scale. The air is cool and still. Far above, pinpricks of soft light ignite. They reveal the watchers. Colossal figures sit in alcoves carved into the walls. They are made of the same silent black stone as the spire. Their forms are only vaguely humanoid. They have no faces, no eyes. Yet you feel their gaze upon you. 100 silent judges observing your every move. Their attention is a physical weight. It presses down, seeking to find you unworthy. You stand small in the center of the immense hall. The floor is smooth and cold beneath your boots. There is no sound, no movement from the great stone figures. They just watch. Patient, eternal. You are a fleeting moment of flesh and blood. You are here to be measured against their impossible standards. You wonder what they are waiting for. What test could possibly take place in this empty expanse? Then the floor beneath you begins to change. Light traces patterns across the polished surface. A maze begins to form around you. Walls of shimmering energy rise from the floor. They show scenes from your own history. Your first test has begun. It is a maze built from the memory of your species. You must navigate the echoes of humanity's greatest glories, and you must face its greatest shames. The path forward is through your own past. You take a tentative step into the glowing labyrinth. The walls flicker with images. On your left, you see the first fire. Cave dwellers huddle around a crackling flame. Their faces show awe and a little fear. You feel the warmth on your own skin. You smell the wood smoke. It is a perfect living memory. On your right, a different scene unfolds. A city of shining towers rises into a clear blue sky. People in sleek clothes walk with purpose. It is a vision of a future that might have been, a utopia you almost achieved. The path forward seems to lie between these 2 points, between the humble start and the grand ambition. But the maze is not so simple. It twists and turns. It forces you to confront other memories. You walk past a wall showing a great library. Scholars pore over ancient scrolls. They share knowledge freely. It is a moment of pure intellectual light. But the next corner turns sharply. It reveals the same library in flames. Books burn in great pyres. The scholars are gone. Only soldiers remain, their faces grim. You feel a pang of sorrow, a sense of shared loss that echoes across centuries. The watchers are silent. You wonder if they feel anything, or if this is just data to them, a way to catalog your species' failings. You pass a scene of a medical breakthrough. A child is cured of a terrible disease. Her parents weep with joy. The next wall shows a battlefield. The ground is scarred and broken. The air is thick with the ghosts of soldiers. Their technology was incredible. Their reasons for war were tragically small. This is the trial, not just to find the exit. The trial is to walk this path and not lose yourself, not to be consumed by pride at the triumphs, not to be broken by despair at the failures. You realize the maze is not just showing you history, it is testing your reaction to it. You pass a composer creating a symphony. The music fills the air, beautiful and heartbreaking. You then see a politician delivering a speech filled with hatred. A crowd roars its approval. The contrast is jarring. It is the duality of your kind, the capacity for profound beauty and terrible ugliness. The maze seems to have no end. Every corridor presents a new choice, a new pairing of glory and shame. You see the first ship to leave your planet's orbit. A single brave astronaut looks back at the blue marble of home. Then you see a starving village. Ignored. Forgotten. The resources to save them were spent on other things, on weapons, on walls. You start to understand. The Spire isn't just looking for intelligence. It is looking for perspective, for wisdom. You reach what seems to be the center of the maze. It is a large circular chamber. The walls show 1,000 different moments at once. A collage of human experience, births and deaths, peace treaties and declarations of war, art and pollution, love and betrayal. In the center of the room is a single pedestal. It is empty. The path seems to end here. There is no exit. You look around, confused. Is this a dead end? A trick? You look at the watching figures high above. They remain still, unmoving. You think about the nature of the test. It is a maze of memory, a maze of choices. But what if the goal is not to escape it? What if the goal is to understand it? You approach the empty pedestal. The images on the wall swirl faster. They become a blur of light and shadow. You place your hand on the cool, smooth surface of the pedestal. You close your eyes. You don't try to find a single path. You don't try to judge what you have seen. You simply accept it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. It is all part of your story. It is all you. A low chime echoes through the chamber. It is the first sound you have heard from the spire itself. The swirling walls of light fade away. The maze is gone. You stand once more in the vast, empty hall. The stone figures still watch from their alcoves. But something has changed. A single thin ray of light shines down from the ceiling. It illuminates a tiny symbol etched into the floor, a symbol that was not there before. You have solved the puzzle, but you did it in a way the watchers did not expect. You did not choose a side. You did not run from the darkness in your past. You embraced the whole of it. You walk toward the newly revealed symbol. It is not human. It is a complex pattern of spirals and lines. As you get closer, you feel a faint warmth emanating from it. It is a whisper, a ghost of a thought left behind. You kneel down and trace the pattern with your finger. Information flows into your mind, not words, but feelings, images, a dire warning. It is a message from another species, a race that stood where you stand now, a race that faced these trials and failed. They are showing you their own maze. It was a labyrinth of pure logic, a cold, calculated test of intelligence. They solved it perfectly, flawlessly, but they were dismissed. The message shows their confusion, their anger, and then their end. A quick, silent extinction. Their warning is clear. The Spire does not seek a calculator. It does not want cold, hard logic. The clue they left behind is a single, poignant concept. The concept of a beautiful error, of a flaw that creates something new, of a mistake made from compassion. You stand up, the ghostly warning echoing in your mind. You look up at the silent stone figures. You understand them a little better now. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for something else. Something humanity has in abundance. Something messy and unpredictable. The floor begins to shift again. The single beam of light expands. The entire chamber dissolves. Not into a maze of memory this time, but into a sea of stars. You are floating in a void. A new trial is about to begin. The darkness around you is absolute. Then, one by one, stars ignite. They are not distant points of light. They are solid orbs of energy, close enough to touch. They hum with power. Paths of solid light connect them. It is a new kind of labyrinth, a shifting star maze. The platforms of light appear and disappear in complex patterns. Gravity is not constant here. One moment you are standing on a beam of light. The next, it becomes the ceiling as the entire construct rotates around you. Your suit's internal sensors are useless. They spin wildly, unable to find a stable reference point. North is a meaningless concept here. Up and down are suggestions at best. This is a test of intuition, of pure animal instinct. You take a leap of faith. You jump from your fading platform to another that has just blinked into existence. You land solidly, for a moment. Then the world tilts again. You have to move, constantly. There is no time for careful calculation. You either trust your gut, or you fall into the endless void between the stars. You remember the warning from the ghost. A beautiful error. This maze is designed to punish logic. If you try to map its patterns, it will change them. If you try to predict its next move, it will defy you. The only way to win is to not play its game. You stop trying to think your way through. You start to feel your way through. You let your instincts guide you. You jump when it feels right. You turn when your gut tells you to. You are not solving a puzzle. You are performing a dance. A dangerous zero-gravity ballet. It is surprisingly effective. You find a rhythm, a flow. You move with the shifting maze, not against it. You make mistakes. You stumble. You nearly fall a dozen times. But each time, you recover. You adapt. Your human mind, so used to chaos and improvisation, is perfectly suited for this. You even manage a small, breathless laugh. This is certainly more exciting than filling out paperwork back home. That thought alone is worth the near-death experience. As you navigate, you notice you are not just moving through space. You are moving through time. Each star you pass shows you a glimpse of a possible future, a potential destiny for your species. One star shows humanity spreading across the galaxy. Our ships are like silver seeds on the cosmic wind. Another star shows a darker path, a future where we turned our technology upon ourselves, where our homeworld is a scorched ruin. These are not memories. They are warnings. They are possibilities. The path you choose through this maze might influence which future comes to pass. You focus on the path that feels like hope. You leap towards the stars that show images of discovery, of cooperation, of new life. You avoid the cold, dark stars that radiate emptiness and despair. It is a choice, a statement. You are defining what it means to be human, not just by how you solve the puzzle, but by the destination you strive for. Your intuition is your guide. Your hope is your compass. The silent watchers observe this strange, clumsy dance, this illogical, emotional journey through their perfect clockwork machine. You see the exit. It is a shimmering portal of white light. It is located at the heart of the most chaotic cluster of stars. The paths leading to it are the most treacherous. They flicker in and out of existence rapidly. To reach it, you will need to make a final, impossible leap. A leap across a void so wide, your mind screams that it is suicide. There is no logical reason why a path would appear there. It defies the pattern of the rest of the maze. But the ghost's warning comes back to you. A beautiful error, a compassionate mistake. You look back the way you came. There is a safer path. It leads to a different kind of star, one that shows a future of quiet, stable isolation. Humanity, safe on its home world, never venturing out, never risking anything, never achieving anything great. A future of comfortable stagnation. The Spire is offering you a choice, a safe failure or a dangerous, uncertain triumph. You know what you have to do. You turn toward the impossible leap. You take a running start. And you jump into the empty space, trusting that your hope is strong enough to build a bridge. For a terrifying second, you are falling. There is nothing below you, just the cold, infinite void. Your stomach lurches. This is it. You made the wrong choice. You failed. But then, a single brilliant thread of light ignites beneath your feet. It solidifies into a bridge just as you land. It is unstable. It flickers, but it holds. You have passed the second trial. You did not choose the logical, safe path. You chose the illogical, hopeful one. You walk across the bridge of light and step through the portal. You find yourself in a new chamber. This one is different. It is a perfect sphere. In the center, two planets of light hover in the air. One is a vibrant blue and green. The other is a burning volcanic red. You feel a new kind of power settle upon you. It is the power of a god. A voice, the first direct communication, echoes in your mind. It is not a voice of words. It is a voice of pure understanding. It tells you that you have been given a new test. The weight of two worlds. You are given command over the fate of these two simulated civilizations. The blue-green world is home to a species of artists and philosophers. They are peaceful, creative, but they are technologically primitive. Their world is gentle, but their sun is unstable. In a few generations, it will expand and scorch their planet. They do not have the means to escape. They will perish, singing beautiful songs about the end of their world. They are completely unaware of their impending doom. The red world is home to a race of warriors and engineers. They are aggressive, expansionist. Their society is built on conflict. But they are brilliant. Their technology is advancing at an incredible rate. They have already taken their first steps into space. But their world is dying. Its resources are depleted from centuries of industrial warfare. They are looking for a new home, Their scouts have just discovered the blue-green planet, a perfect, untouched paradise ripe for the HFY conquest. The voice in your head makes the test clear. You have the power to intervene. You can save the peaceful artists from the sun. You can give them the technology to leave their world. But this would alert the warriors to their existence even sooner. It would paint a target on their backs. You could cripple the warriors' technology. You could stop their expansion. But this would condemn them to a slow death on their dying planet, a fate they would surely fight to the bitter end. You could also do nothing. You could let events play out as they will. The warriors will conquer the artists. They will take the new world and survive. The artists will be wiped out. Their songs and philosophies will be lost forever. The voice in your head does not offer a right answer. It simply waits for your judgment. The true test, you realize, is not what you do. It is why you do it. The reason for your final judgment is what matters to the Spire. You float closer to the two miniature worlds. You can see the details of their simulated lives. On the blue planet, you see gatherings of people painting murals. You hear the faint echo of their music. On the red planet, you see massive factories churning out war machines. You see armies marching in perfect, terrifying unison. You feel the weight of this choice. It is the weight of two worlds. The lives of billions rest on your decision. This is not a game. It is a rehearsal for the kind of power your species might one day wield. You consider the options. Saving the artists seems like the compassionate choice, but it would be a temporary reprieve. It might only lead to a more brutal end at the hands of the warriors. Neutering the warriors seems just, but it is also a death sentence. To condemn an entire species for their nature feels wrong. You are not their judge. Or are you? That is the entire point of this trial. To judge, to choose, to act. You look for a third option, a human option, a messy, complicated solution that is not on the multiple choice test. The ghost's warning echoes again. A beautiful error. The Spire does not want a simple answer. It wants your answer. You begin to formulate a plan, a risky, audacious plan. It could fail spectacularly. It could make things worse for everyone. But it is better than simply choosing who lives and who dies. As you focus your intent, you find more fragments, more clues left by those who came before you. They appear as faint glimmers of light within the simulation. You are not just seeing the two worlds. You are seeing the ghosts of past choices. One fragment shows a previous contestant simply destroying the warrior race. The Spire's response was a cold silence. Another fragment shows a contestant who merged the two worlds. The result was a bloody, chaotic war that destroyed both. The Spire seems to be showing you failed answers. It is guiding you away from the simple, brutal solutions. You learn that other species have faced this exact test. They all chose a side, or they tried to force a fusion that ended in disaster. You realize the trials are not seeking success in the conventional sense. They seek a specific quality, a quality that none of the other races possessed. The ability to see beyond the immediate conflict. The ability to create a new kind of solution. You see a vision from a fallen race of strategists. They analyzed the problem perfectly. They chose the option with the highest probability of survival for one race. They failed the trial. Their logic was flawless. Their compassion was absent. Your own plan begins to solidify. It is not about giving one side an advantage. It is about introducing a new variable, a new problem that both sides must face. A problem so great it makes their own conflict seem trivial. It is a terrible gamble. You will introduce an external threat, a simulated asteroid swarm on a direct collision course with both of their star systems. Not big enough to destroy them completely, but big enough to require the full attention and resources of both civilizations to survive. It is a desperate act. You are forcing them to cooperate, or forcing them to watch each other perish while they try to save themselves. The warriors have the technology to deflect the asteroids, but not enough to save their own world and the blue one. The artists have the philosophical and cultural unity to rally their people. They could inspire a level of cooperation the warriors have never known. They need each other. They just do not know it yet. You are giving them a common enemy, a common cause. You present your judgment, not as a direct action, but as a subtle change in the star science of their system. You tweak the orbital paths of a cluster of simulated rocks. You set them on their deadly course. Then you do one more thing. You create a bridge of communication between the two worlds. A single, open channel. Not a message of peace. Not a warning. Just an open line. The ability to talk. The rest is up to them. The voice in your mind is silent for a long moment. It is processing your solution, your messy, human, unpredictable answer. You did not choose a winner. You did not play God in the way you were expected to. You simply changed the rules of the game. You gave them a chance to find their own solution together. The two glowing planets begin to change. The simulation accelerates. You watch as the two species discover the new threat. You see their panic, their fear, and then you see the first message cross the void between their worlds. Your trial is not over. The chamber dissolves again. This time, you are plunged into a void of perfect, absolute nothingness. The silent abyss. There is no light, no sound, no sensation. Your body feels like it is not there. You cannot feel your hands or your feet. It is a sensory deprivation tank the size of a universe. You are utterly alone with your own consciousness. You try to speak, but you have no mouth, no voice. The silence is not just an absence of sound, it is a presence. It presses in. It threatens to extinguish your thoughts. You drift in the endless black. Panic begins to bubble up from the deep parts of your mind. The primal fear of being erased, of ceasing to exist. You fight it back. You focus. You have to learn to navigate this place. But how do you navigate without senses? You must use your inner strength. Your own mind must become your eyes and ears. You think of home. You picture the faces of your family, the green of the trees, the feeling of sun on your skin. You use your memories to build an anchor in the nothingness. It works. You feel a sense of self-return, a center of gravity in the void. You are still blind, still deaf, but you are here. You are you. You begin to push with your mind. You try to feel the edges of the abyss, to find a wall, a boundary. At first, there is nothing. Just an infinite expanse of empty thought. But then you feel it, a resistance. Something else is in here with you. It is another consciousness, another mind pushing back against yours. You are not the only challenger within the spire. You have a rival in the dark. This new mind feels ancient, powerful, and filled with an immense, cold pride. It is not human. It radiates an aura of superiority. It sees you as an insect, an insignificant speck of dust in its path. You feel it probe your thoughts. It tries to peel back your memories, to find your weaknesses. You build mental walls. You shield your mind with the strongest emotions you have. Your love for your family, your hope for your species, your stubborn, illogical refusal to give up. The rival mind recoils, surprised by the chaotic, emotional strength of your defenses. Its own mind is a fortress of pure logic, a palace of perfect crystalline thought. It is beautiful, and it is brittle. Your messy, unpredictable humanity is a weapon it does not understand. You push back harder. You don't attack. You simply broadcast your own identity. You show it the images from the memory maze, the glory and the shame, the art and the war. You show it the messy, contradictory truth of being human. The rival is disgusted. It considers your species a plague, a chaotic infection in a logical universe. It communicates this to you in a wave of pure, condescending disdain. It tells you that it has passed 1,000 trials like this one, that its race is ancient when your species was still learning to sharpen sticks. It believes it is the rightful heir to the Spire's power. You are just a final, trivial obstacle, a joke the universe has decided to tell. The void around you begins to change. The darkness is replaced by a new arena. You can see again. You are standing on a circular platform floating in a nebula of swirling colors. Across from you stands your rival. It is a tall, slender being. Its skin is like polished obsidian. It has 4 long, graceful arms and a featureless face. It radiates an aura of immense power and arrogance. This is the being from the dark, an entity from an ancient, prideful race. A new voice, the true voice of the arbiters of the Spire, speaks in your mind. It is old, vast, and utterly impartial. You have reached the penultimate trial, it says. The contest of wills. One shall proceed. One shall be erased. You are forced to face your rival in a direct confrontation. The rules are simple. The first being to force the other off the platform wins. It is a contest of strength, a duel. But as you look at your rival, you know that victory by force is impossible. The being moves with a speed that is faster than your eyes can track. It is a blur of black grace. It does not seem to be trying. It is simply demonstrating its superiority. You feel its power like a physical force. It could throw you from this platform with a mere thought. This is an unwinnable contest, a test designed for you to fail. The Spire wants to see what you will do when faced with certain defeat. Will you fight and lose? Will you surrender? Or will you find another way? You brace yourself. The rival being raises one of its 4 arms. It points a long, slender finger at you. You feel an immense pressure building around you. It is trying to crush you, to simply push you from the platform with raw, overwhelming power. You resist. You anchor yourself with your thoughts, your memories, your stubbornness. It is like trying to hold back a tidal wave with a wooden shield. You will not last long. You need a different approach. You cannot win its game. So you have to make it play yours. You stop resisting. You let the pressure flow around you. You use its own force against it, bending but not breaking. This surprises the rival. It expected a direct struggle, a contest of power, not this strange, yielding defense. You need to get inside its head. Its greatest strength is its pride. Its greatest weakness is its pride. You open a channel of communication. You send it a single thought, a question. Why do you want this so badly? The question throws the ancient being off balance. It pauses its attack. It answers with a wave of indignant thought. It is our right, our destiny. We are the pinnacle of evolution, the logical endpoint of all life. This power belongs to us. We will use it to bring order to a chaotic universe. Its answer is exactly what you expected. The answer of a tyrant, a being that cannot imagine a universe that does not bend to its will. Order, you send back. You saw my people's memories. You saw our chaos. But you also saw our art, our music, our love. Does your perfect order have room for that? Does your logic have a variable for hope? The being hesitates. Its attack wavers. You are planting seeds of doubt in its perfect logical mind. You are not fighting its body. You are fighting its philosophy, its entire reason for being. This is a battlefield it has never trained on. It scoffs at your words. Your emotions are a weakness, a flaw in your design. They lead to ruin. We will correct this flaw. We will bring peace to the galaxy, the peace of perfect silent order. You press your advantage. Is that peace, or is it just silence? A universe without a song, a sky without art, a life without love. That is not peace. That is a tomb. You project the feeling of listening to a symphony, the feeling of seeing a child take its first step, the warmth of a shared laugh. You bombard its logical mind with the beautiful, illogical data of human experience. The rival cries out in mental anguish. It clutches its head. The images are like a virus in its clean, orderly consciousness. It has never had to process this kind of information before. It is pure noise, pure chaos. It sees you not as a warrior, but as a poison, a corrupting influence. It redoubles its attack, not with force, but with logic. It tries to prove to you, mathematically, that your existence is a statistical error, that your species is a blight on the universe. It shows you equations, star charts, probabilities. It demonstrates with cold, hard facts that humanity's continued existence will lead to galactic instability. It proves that your chaos will spread, that your emotions will lead to galaxy-spanning wars. It makes a compelling case. For a moment, you feel a flicker of doubt. What if it is right? What if your species is too dangerous, too broken to be trusted with a place among the stars? You look at the being made of pride and logic. You see its utter certainty, its complete lack of doubt. And you know it is wrong. A universe without doubt is a universe without growth. A life without mistakes is a life without lessons. You reject its logic. You reject its proof. You send it one final thought. You are not wrong. You are just incomplete. You have solved the equation of the universe, but you have forgotten to show your work. And with that, you do the last thing it expects. You turn your back on it. You walk to the edge of the platform, and you jump. You willingly cast yourself into the nebula below. You have forfeited the contest. You have chosen to lose, but you have done it on your own terms. You have refused to be beaten by its power. You have refused to be convinced by its logic. You have made a choice, a human choice. You have chosen failure over a victory that would mean becoming like your enemy. As you fall, you feel a strange sense of peace. You have been true to yourself, to your species. You have shown the Spire what humanity is. Messy, illogical, flawed, but also hopeful and brave, and willing to sacrifice everything for what it believes in. You close your eyes, ready for the end. But the end does not come. Your fall slows. You are caught, held suspended in the swirling colors of the nebula. The voice of the arbiters returns. It is no longer impartial. It is filled with something you can only describe as interest. An interesting solution, the voice says. The contest was unwinnable by design. Every other challenger fought until they were destroyed, or they surrendered their will to the victor. None has ever chosen to define their own terms of defeat. You are lifted back up. You are placed on a new platform. Your rival is gone. It has been dismissed. You have not won. You have not lost. You have simply advanced. You have passed the trial by refusing to pass it. You now stand before the arbiters of the spire. The silent stone figures from the first chamber are here, but they are no longer stone. They are beings of pure, shimmering light. Their forms are vast and cosmic. They are the keepers, and for the first time, they speak to you directly. Your species is a paradox, one of them says, its voice a chorus of resonating stars. You are capable of creation that rivals the birth of galaxies, and destruction that echoes the collapse of suns. We have watched you for eons, says another. Its voice is the sound of gravity bending space. We have seen your potential and your flaws. You are chaotic, unpredictable. Your emotions are a source of great strength and terrible weakness. They question the very nature of your humanity. They lay your species bare. They show you your history from their perspective. A frantic, desperate race, scrambling for survival on a small, fragile world. A species that constantly risks everything for the chance of gaining just a little more. They ask you to justify your existence, to defend the messy, contradictory nature of your people. They are not accusing. They are simply asking. They genuinely want to know. Why should a species like yours be allowed to step onto the galactic stage? What can you offer that 1,000 other, more stable, more logical races could not? This is the true trial, not a maze or a fight, but a conversation, a final plea for the soul of your kind. You stand before these star-born gods, and you give them your answer. You do not make excuses. You do not hide your flaws. You speak of the beautiful error, the compassionate mistake. You tell them that your chaos is the engine of your creativity, that your emotions are what give your lives meaning. You tell them that you are not perfect, and that is your greatest strength. You are always striving, always learning, always hoping to be better than you were yesterday. You tell them of the ghost's warning, of the rival's pride. You explain that logic alone is not enough, that a universe run by pure, cold calculation is a dead universe. It needs art. It needs music. It needs love. It needs hope. It needs the messy, unpredictable, beautiful chaos that is humanity. The arbiters listen in silence. Their light seems to soften, to warm. They are considering your words. They are weighing the fate of your world in the cosmic balance. Then, the chamber dissolves one last time. You are transported to the heart of the machine. You are in the final chamber. It is a sphere of impossible size. At its center is a living, breathing star. It is held in place by a cage of swirling energy. The star is not yellow or red. It is a brilliant, blinding silver. It pulses with a slow, steady rhythm. Like a heart, you can feel its power, and you can feel its pain. The last trial is revealed in all its terrible purpose. The voice of the arbiters explains. This star is not a star. It is a being, an entity of immense power. We are its jailers. The spire is its prison. You see images in your mind, a vision of a time long past. You see this silver being moving through the cosmos. It is not evil. It is not malicious. It is simply too much. Its very presence warps reality. It creates and destroys on a whim, not out of cruelty, but out of a complete lack of understanding of consequence. It is a child playing with forces it cannot control. The arbiters, a coalition of the galaxy's first and oldest races, built the spire to contain it, to protect the universe from its unintentional destruction. But the prison is failing. The being is growing stronger. The spire can no longer hold it. They have been searching for a successor, not a jailer, but a solution. They have tested countless species. They were all found wanting. They offered only two solutions: to destroy the being or to set it free. Both would lead to galactic catastrophe. This is the final task. The Spire's prisoner. It is not a test of power, it is a choice. You have the control. You can reinforce the prison, buying the galaxy a few more centuries, but dooming the being to an eternity of torment. You can destroy it, ending its threat, but committing an act of cosmic murder against a being that knows no better. Or you can open the cage. You can set it free, unleashing unimaginable chaos upon the universe. You are given the keys to the ultimate weapon, and the fate of everything rests upon your choice. You look at the silver, pulsing heart of the spire. You feel its loneliness, its confusion. It is a child locked in a basement for being too strong. It is not a monster. It is a prisoner. Destroying it is unthinkable. Freeing it is irresponsible. Strengthening its cage is just delaying the inevitable. You reject the simple choice. You refuse to pick between doom and freedom. You see a third path, a human path. You devise an answer that no other race has ever offered. You turn to the arbiters. You feel their presence around you. You have treated it as a weapon to be controlled, you say with your mind, or a threat to be eliminated. You have never treated it as what it is: a child, a mind that needs to be taught. The arbiters are silent. This idea is utterly alien to them. Their solution was logical. Engineering, control. They never considered education. You cannot keep it in a cage forever, you continue, and you cannot kill it. So you must teach it. Teach it consequence. Teach it empathy. Teach it what it means to be a part of a universe, not the center of it. You propose the unthinkable. You will not open the cage. You will not destroy the prisoner. You will enter the cage. You will connect your own mind to the silver being. You will share your experiences, your memories, your humanity. You will show it the joy of creation, the pain of loss, the beauty of a single, fragile life. You will give it the context it has never had. You will be its teacher, its friend. It is a monumental risk. The being's mind could overwhelm yours. It could erase you in an instant. Or you could change it. You could give it the one thing it lacks: a conscience. You are offering to sacrifice your own identity, your own self, for the chance to save it. And the galaxy. This is the human answer. The arbiters are stunned into silence. In all their millennia, no one has ever proposed such a thing. They saw a problem to be solved with power. You see a soul to be saved with compassion. You do not wait for their permission. You have made your choice. You walk towards the caged star. The energy field parts before you. You step inside. You reach out with your mind. And you touch the consciousness of a god. A supernova of light and feeling explodes in your mind. You are flooded with its memories. 1 billion years of lonely, thoughtless existence. You see galaxies born and die. You feel the power to unmake reality with a whim. It is intoxicating, and it is terrifying. You resist the urge to lose yourself in it. You anchor yourself with your own memories, your humanity. You push back against the tide. You share your own life, your first love, your greatest failure, the taste of rain, the sound of laughter. The silver being recoils, not in anger, but in surprise. It has never felt anything like this before. It has never known anything but itself. Your mind is a whirlwind of strange, new concepts. Empathy, regret, hope. It begins to learn. It begins to understand. The spire around you begins to transform. The black, sterile stone softens. It fills with light and color. The energy cage around the star dissolves. But the star does not flee. It does not rampage. It stays. It has found something it never knew it was missing. A connection. Your solution transforms the spire and its prisoner forever. The tower is no longer a prison. It is a school, a sanctuary. The silver being is no longer a prisoner. It is a student, and you are its teacher. Humanity has earned its place in the cosmos, not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as partners, as teachers, as the species that was messy enough and brave enough to offer compassion to a god. A new age has dawned, and you are standing at its brilliant, terrifying, beautiful beginning. The universe will never be the same.